back to our lesson. In this section, I'm going to teach you two things. The first thing is about the collections of data, and the second thing is about the classifications of data. Okay, so here you can see there are some common ways to collect the data. Okay, for example, this one, the questionnaire, okay, the interview, observation, experiment, and also some previous information. So now we move to the questionnaire. I think most of you try to do the questionnaire before. Okay, for example, in our school, we like to do a lot of questionnaire, and for this one, maybe the purpose of this questionnaire to know the habits of using mobile phone. Okay, so you need to write down. Okay, the question is which functions of mobile phones do you use most often? Okay, games, internet, instant message, or others. So for you need to tick. Okay, you need to tick, and also then maybe you answer all the questions inside this questionnaire, and then you need to return it to the teacher, or return it to the one who designed this questionnaire. Okay, so for the questionnaire is the most common way for us to collect the data, and we try to fill in the data and fill in the questionnaire and then return it. Okay. And then the second method is about the interview. Okay, so interview, maybe in this times I would like to ask you the reasons why that you would like to watch Mr. Choi's YouTube's video. Okay, so can you give me the reasons why and anything that attract you to watch his video? So maybe in this times I try to ask you some question, and then later you give me the reasons. Okay, maybe you give me the some of the advice about his videos. Okay, so that I can instantly get some feedbacks from you, and also okay. So this is the one of the great methods for the collections of data, and there are different ways of interview. For example, you can conducting interviews over the phones, on the streets, or door to door. And I have tried their interviews over the phones. Okay, not someone interviews me, maybe asks me about their advice about the Hong Kong budget. Okay, and maybe on the street, someone would like to ask you some interesting questions. Okay, there are lots of examples in the YouTube. Maybe you can watch it. Okay, you know what I mean. Okay, so that is part about the interview. Okay, so the third part is about the observation. For example, in the lecture. Okay, in the lecture, if now I want to know how many students that pay attention to my lections, so I would like to observe, okay, any students that pay attention to my lection, and how many students sleep in my lections, and how many students have a chit chat in my lections. So I can throw out my observations, okay, and I can get some data, okay, more quickly. Okay, so that is the observation. Okay, and sometimes I can see in the near the road. Okay, someone sit near the road and also collect some data. I don't know, maybe he or she tries to collect some data about the how many bars, how many texts go through these roads. I don't know. Okay, so this is also one of the methods about the observation. And then the fourth part is about the experiment. Okay, experiment. So as a physics teacher, I usually try to do some experiment, and because throughout this experiment we can know the experiment results. Okay, and for example, for the physics, I would like to address some of the angles about the length. Okay, and when you are a secondary 3 student, you can try this experiment. Very interesting. Okay, some concave lens, convex lens, and then you can adjust some data. Okay, so and So this type of experiment, you can get some results, get some data from that. And also for chemistry, maybe your chemistry teacher would like to mix some of the some things, okay, some substance together, and then maybe create some new things. And that is also one of the methods, one of the experiment. Okay, so sometimes information can be obtained by doing experiment. In an experiment, tests will be taken on samples. Okay, maybe we need to use the samples to do this experiment. All right. And for the previous 4 ones, I can say that is the one-hand information. Okay, one-hand information, because we try to collect those data by ourselves. Okay, we try to interview someone. Okay, we distribute the questionnaires to the students. Okay, so for this one, I think this one is about the second-hand data. Okay, so the 5th one is the previous information. Okay, previous information. For example, now I can show you. This is the websites about the census. Okay, you can see this one is about the census and statistics department. Okay, so you can see some of the data, the populations of Hong Kong and the numbers of domestic households. Okay, so these data are not collected by you. Okay, you just take the reference from these data, and those data are collected by the governments or some of the organizations. Okay, and so we can obtain information by reading previous records from the newspaper, journals, official statistical publication, or the internet. Okay, and I think the internet is very convenient for us. If we try to type some keywords in the Google, okay, so we can Google some of the keyword and get some information. They're very convenient. Okay. So now I would like to tell you some of the advantages and also the disadvantages of these 5 common way， 即係呢幾個嘅好處啦，同埋有啲壞處嘅。For example, for the questionnaire, okay, for the questionnaire. So for the questionnaire is very simple, okay, and convenient. If I want to know the habit of my students to about the using the smartphone, I just create the questionnaire and then distribute to the students in my class, maybe 1A or 1CD, okay, or other students, okay, and then you try to fill in the questionnaire and then return to me so I can get a lot of data. Okay, so that is very simple and convenient. However, for the questionnaire, some students, okay, or someone may not want to answer or may not want to give some response to the questionnaire, so I cannot get some data from you. Okay, and for example, some elderly may not want to fill in the questionnaire. Okay, so that is one of the disadvantages of the questionnaire. And also, because this questionnaire is done by yourself, so without any guidance of the designers of the questionnaire, so you may have the misunderstandings of the for some of the questions. Okay, 即係你可能會誤會咗某啲嘅問題嘅。Alright, and then for the interview is very direct way, and also I can get some detailed comment. For example, someone likes to watch my video, so I can know he or she can give me some reasons why that he usually watch my videos. Okay, anything that I check. Okay, I check him or her to watch my video. Okay, and however, the disadvantages, okay, is that someone may not want to answer answer the question face to face, okay, maybe feel very embarrassed or may not want to show his or her face, okay. And also, if you try to do the interview, it is a time consuming method, because maybe you need to at least half an hour to get to do the interview, okay. And also it requires much manpower, because you need to do ask so many people to help you to collect the data from the interview, okay. Okay, for the next one is about the experiment. So about the observation. So observation is the very updated method, okay, and very accurate method. However, it is very time consuming. For example, if I try to observe the behavior of students' interactions, I try to I need to spend maybe quite a long time to get some data from you, whether you are pay attention to my lections, okay. So this is time consuming, and also if I need to get more accurate data, I need to require the manpower, okay, much manpower, okay， 即係我需要多啲嘅人力嘅 ，okay。Okay, so for the next one is about the experiment. So the experiment is reliable, okay. And however, sometimes if you try to do the experiment, the sample may be destroyed during the experiment. For example, when you were secondary school students, you may need to learn the lessons about the leaf, okay, 呢塊樹葉 okay, how many maybe the change of the cells in the leaf, okay. So maybe for this experiment you need to boil a leaf. So in this time you may destroy a leaf, okay, so you may destroy the sample. Okay, so for this one is about the for the last one is the previous information. For the previous information, it is very simple, okay, it is very convenient. However, once you can get the information from the websites or from the other journal, okay, this data collected may be very, very outdated, okay. For example, the census, the data from the census, the census 人口普查, because in Hong Kong we maybe we for 4 or 5 years we try to do the one census first, okay, after 4 or 5 years, okay. So maybe this data is from 4 years ago, okay, so this data may be very outdated, okay, it's not new at all, not updated, okay. Alright, so now it's time for the classifications of data, okay, the classifications of data. So here you can see there are two important types of data, the decreased data and also the continuous data. Decreased data, that means 離散數據. Continuous data, that means 連續數據. So first of all, about the decreased data. So for the decreased data are the data that can only take up specific value. Maybe this data needs to be the integer. Okay, in sometimes, for example, the numbers of family members, you can say that, okay, 1, 2, 3, or 4. However, you cannot say that, okay, I have 1.5 members in my family. Okay, I have 2.4 members in my family. Very weird. Okay, we won't say it in this way. Okay, and also the numbers of rooms of some flats. Okay, and we can say only 1 room, 0 room. Okay, 2 rooms. However, we won't say that. Okay, I have 3.5 rooms in my house. Okay, it is not make sense. Okay. Alright, so this one is the decreased data. That means some some of the data need to be specific value. Okay, needs to be specific value. And this one is the continuous data. Okay, the continuous data. For this continuous data is the data that needs to take up within certain range. And also this data, you can take up any value. Okay, take up any value. For example, the height of a plant maybe 15.7, 15.82 cm. Okay, so these are the data that you can think. There are so many value. Okay, you can take up any value within a certain range. All right, and then later on, this one is the nominal data, because some data are not related to the numerical value. Some of data may not be the numerical value. For example, for the questionnaire, if you want to write down, say, okay, the question may ask you whether you are a male or females. Okay, for male or female is not the numerical answer， 即係唔係一個數據，唔係一個數據。Okay, and also for the simple one, try to write down your name. Your name is also not the numerical value. So in this time, we would like to write down that is the nominal data. That means that is the 名目數據。Okay, the name. Okay, some names about the data. Okay.